We're live. I don't mean disrespect, Ryan, but I don't want to immediately start the show with mosquitoes. We must talk about Epstein again. I feel like we talk about Epstein a lot, but it's worth. Here's the thing. Let me just pull it up. Let me just pull the thing up, Ryan, because the FBI and the DOJ have come out in unison to fully acknowledge, Ryan, and of course this is now the official narrative, that Jeffrey Epstein did not have a client list and he committed suicide. The DOJ and FBI say in findings that debunk conspiracy theory. It's all a big conspiracy, Ryan. We're gonna step by step this thing right from the beginning. We've talked about it so many times, but as this grows, as this evolves, I'm going to do my best, Ryan. I'm going to do my best to make sure we keep the story straight. So I put together just a small list of some of the things that. Listen, I'm all for conspiracy theories, Ryan. Just because conspiracy theories seem true doesn't mean they are, and just because some don't seem possible doesn't mean they aren't. I think all we need to do, Ryan, is we just need to lay the general timeline out, put the facts on what we know out, and let everyone make their own determination. Because I think the FBI and the DOJ right now, it's pretty obvious they're running cover. What are they running cover for, you may say, Ryan? I don't know. Could it be President Trump? Could it be themselves? Could it be other politicians and high-ranking people? But of course, there's no conspiracy, so of course you can't run cover for anybody. Let's go back, Ryan. Let's go all the way back, okay? Epstein, of course, is found guilty of the most heinous, most horrendous acts that you can think of. He gets a plea deal, Ryan. A plea deal. He gets 13-month plea deal, okay, which was kept secret from the victims. He was housed in a private wing of the sheriff's office with 12 hours per day of work release. This is normal. Remember, he was running a sex trafficking ring. Very confirmed.
Keep Diddy in mind here, right?
There was a TV installed in the attorney's office specifically for Epstein. Okay. This is a sex trafficker. This is a man raping children. There was an Epstein guest list in jail. Are you aware of this? This is something I found out about today, actually, which I'm ashamed. There was an Epstein guest list at the jail.
Meaning the prison
freely and visit him. Yes.
Yeah, I heard that.
Did you hear it was destroyed?
No, David. Why? Was it etched in giant tablets of marble? Fucking tall?
We'll never know, Ryan. It was fucking destroyed. After he served his 13-month plea deal, he was on I say this house's arrest, because of course he had multiple houses, where he was allowed to travel freely outside of his house.
Super house arrest, David.
Including use of private drivers, a private security team.
Private house driver arrest?
Yes, on house arrest. I believe it was Florida's attorney general at the time, or maybe it was the DA, and I'm sorry if I got that wrong, but there's a lot of facts here. Acosta said that he was, this is a quote from him, was forced into a plea deal by the intelligence agencies.
Like the DOJ or the CIA, David, or the FBI?
Maybe the DOJ or FBI that's saying this isn't true. Now we're going to fast forward a bit, because of course we'll get back to the actual or the actual suicide. But we're going to fast forward a bit. Do you remember a few months back, I think it was February or March, we covered the now Attorney General Pam Bondi, or Biondi, whatever it is, stating
the blonde, right?
Yes, stating that there were 10,000 or thousands of hours of tapes, I can't remember the exact quote, that the client of tapes of victims and just in general Epstein activity. Okay, tens of thousands of hours. She also said at one point that the client list was, quote, on her desk for review. Trump's own lawyer, Alina Abba, if anyone remembers her, said that she had, quote, shocking flight logs that she had reviewed herself. She had seen them. Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, remember this, both came out in unison on a Fox News interview and said that Epstein did in fact kill himself. This was kind of the first time when this kind of turned. Then Kash Patel said that there was a tape that proved Epstein killed himself. It was a different tape because remember, we'll talk about the other tapes. What happened to those?
The security cameras, the cameras that weren't working. The one that's inside the cell.
So we'll get to that because there's actually two stories that have been floated around. Nobody knows which one's true. But Kash said, in spite of all that, we actually have another tape that proves Epstein kills himself because the tape shows no one went into his cell. Of course, there was also somebody in the cell with him.
Have you looked up a picture of his cellmate? Because that was the other thing.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're back to here where we state there is the DOJ and the FBI came out again in unison in sync and said that there is no client list and Epstein did in fact kill himself. And to go back to that security camera, I don't remember which was first, but originally it was stated that that the camera was not working. Do you remember? I think this was the original narrative, that the cameras weren't working inside of his cell. And everyone thought, well, that's kind of suspicious, of course.
When did Epstein actually kill himself?
2019, I think. I think it was 2019. So we were originally told that the camera wasn't working. Okay, seems suspicious. A lot of suspicious events, of course, surrounding Epstein.
19, you're sure on 19?
I can double check. I thought it was 19. Kash Patel comes out. I want to be accurate about this. So I'm going to search what year was the suicide because, of course, it was not a homicide. August 10th, 2019.
8/10/19.
So originally we were told that the cameras were broken. Then Kash Patel's on Rogan, which we played this clip, and he said that the cameras were working, the footage was erased. Well, that's a different story. You could argue that's even worse because what erased the footage?
Just the AI computer from the future, David, of course.
Well, of course, AI, could definitely not have made any form of other footage.
I'm telling you, it's AI from the future, people.
He was originally on suicide watch, and then they promptly pulled him off suicide watch right before he committed suicide. That's the official narrative. I don't want to get it wrong, right? And he used a sheet and hung himself from a bunk bed, which just seems extremely unlikely. But I guess if you're determined, you're going to hang yourself from anything.
And shattered his larynx or whatever it was.
Well, yes, and that was the other last thing. The official government autopsy, their findings were that it in fact was suicide. But then Epstein's family paid for a third party, and the third party came out and said what they missed on the government autopsy, of course, it was accidental. They must have overlooked it. Showed there was a broken hyoid bone, and that is indicative of homicide more often than a suicide. This is in fact very, very rare that a hyoid bone breaks in a suicide. So all these
surely, David, this is the same medical corridor that said that John F. Kennedy was shot multiple times.
And then we could get into all the other that. I don't think this part's the conspiracy. You can get into the conspiracy parts. There's lots of people who try to tie Epstein to Israel, to the Mossad, because
well, bare minimum, it's a cover-up, right?
Ghislaine's Maxwell's father was in the Mossad, if I'm not mistaken.
The guy writes textbooks too, or something. Owns a publishing company that writes kids' textbooks. Did you hear that one? Did you hear all that linkage? Who knows anymore?
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of Anne Frank's dad, selling the same jams to fucking Nazis that selling jams to the people.
Some people are tying Epstein to this too. So for forever and forever and forever ago, during the Clinton administration, Israel had a spy in the U.S., as we learned that they often do from the Ted Cruz, Tucker Carlson.
Well, they're just bad at it, right? Was that the?
They had a spy, and the man's name was Pollard, and
Super
he
bad
he
at it,
was
dude.
sentenced to jail for like 25, 30 years, and he was actually a United States um, government employee who then released information to the Israeli government. He was the Israeli spy. Anyways, they were using that information as blackmail against Bill Clinton. That they had sex. I wouldn't say sex tapes, but like recorded line of Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky having phone sex and talking and doing all these things. So that was used as blackmail, and somehow Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein were tied into that. So there's just so much floating around.
Dude, I kind of wish I was older when Bill Clinton was president, because I could just imagine that smooth talking Southern guy. Hey, Monica, how about you come on into my office and give me some sugar? Dude,
Uh,
come on, dude.
and of course,
Guys, so I've
Epstein
heard
does
Bill
have.
Clinton's a very nice man, people. So you don't know. I've heard
I'm
he's
sure.
very nice.
Yeah, he's very accommodating.
I have heard that.
Very
So is did
accommodating. So now that we have laid the stage, let's get into this NY Post article. This is Jesus Christ. I can't believe this is real. Do you feel like voting help? Is this what you have on our Facebook page? Is this what you voted for?
Oh, dude, they got a
Just
Nuremberg. I can't wait to judge at Nuremberg, dude. It's gonna be dope. I will be there, baby. You guys are playing around. You know, Dave, I heard about Nuremberg. Only 6 people hung, and people in America, politicians in America, are exempt from Nuremberg, Dave. Isn't that weird?
Is that right?
Yeah,
I
ain't that
wonder how
weird?
they arranged that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure the Second Amendment predates the Nuremberg violations, but we'll try again, Mr. Politician. Look,
the
YouTube,
Trump
I'm not calling for
administration plans to
violence,
release
but I'm not out of my rocker by saying that there will be political dissidents in the future. You know, we covered last week, what was it? Scott Calloway talked about things. Then we had one other article we covered about, Dr. Mike Tremont. That's right. You know, no big deal, guys. Dr. Mike Tremont just said that that's one of the big things is political violence in the future of this country. No big deal. He just, is working with the Trump administration, but
the Trump administration plans to release a video to prove agency's findings on Epstein 2019 death, which bred mounds of conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories, right? I think I jumped down. Notorious sex predator Jeffrey Epstein.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Didn't keep a supposed client list, and he was not murdered during his short stay in Manhattan lockup. The Justice Department and FBI reportedly concluded in a joint probe. The investigation results were detailed in a memo obtained by Axios. Also found no evidence that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals. Of course, they just did this on his own, and the cameras were there just for fun. He's the only person in there and the only person coming out. You can see FBI Director Dan Bongino. Now, this is in reference to the camera footage from the other camera that they had found, of course, which they must have just found, naturally. The line with the examiner's assessment post-mortem that Epstein committed suicide, according to the memo. The medical examiner's conclusions were contested by Epstein's surviving family, who turned to a forensic pathologist who determined that a homicide was far more probable based on the evidence. No one else involved in the Epstein case will face charges, according to the memo, beyond his associate Ghislaine Maxwell, who is serving 20 years for sex trafficking and other related crimes. Sex trafficking to who? Who knows? Probably nobody, because there's no client list. President Trump previously promised to release the apparent debunked client list during his re-election campaign. Trump has asserted that he had never visited Epstein's notorious private island, where scores of underage girls and young women were allegedly abused. I can't believe they still have to say allegedly. Do they have to say allegedly? I thought isn't this official?
Oh, he's dead, David.
The president
I don't know if a dead man can be charged with crime.
Is that why? Is that why, Ryan? It's all alleged now? It's never going to be official because he never made it to trial? What about Ghislaine Maxwell? What was she in trial for?
I don't know, Dave. Is it an extension to say that if the government does really write or is involved at media, that it has to be a certain level of legalese, which is why they use people familiar with the matter or human generated source or allegedly? That's like kind of like a joke and a pun, but it is allegedly, technically, right? Even like OJ was allegedly, right? Until he wrote a book and fucking said that he did it. If I did it, I don't, I don't really know. Like, I don't know if we as Americans just love this shit because it is addicting. But Andrew, well, we'll call. Here we go. I don't know. I just think that back to your point, David. It probably is because he's dead. They can't say that he did the crime, but this guy did underage sex traffic. It's been known forever. He did time for it. The other thing, Dave, not that I will get back to it, I know because we're covering the article, but people, if you were to look up how he made his money, people don't really know. That house that he had in Manhattan, some of these other properties, they don't really know how he got that stuff. Not that it wasn't like
Well, he was in finance, Ryan, of course.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Finance, 6 feet in finance. Like, I don't know. Yeah, financing women to fucking sheiks in fucking Dubai.
Ryan, Prince Andrew needed financial advice on an island specifically.
Super an island in international waters with no laws.
Well, that's where I go for all my financial advice. I must fly to an island specifically.
Island and a golf
and it's
course.
the only island. It's the only island where you can get good financial advice.
And allegedly, you can just drive a boat right by Fuck Island. I don't know, dude. Isn't that dope that they're like just in public fucking like a porn star? That's weird.
Back in February, Trump's DOJ released Epstein's contact list as a part of a long-awaited trove of documents connected to the notorious sex predator. Isn't it supposed to be alleged sex predator? Pick a lane.
Jesus Christ! He just gave up the sex predatoring, David. He's a lovely Christian man. Refined refined sexual predator is crazy.
Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, Alec Baldwin, and Mick Jagger were all on the high-profile names on Epstein's contact list, which, of course, is different than a client list. But the hyped-up February release was panned by critics as containing little to no new information about the Epstein case. Epstein's demise, just 36 into his stay at the Metropolitan Correctional Center, has been the source of rampant conspiracy theories for nearly a decade, including rumors that some of the rich and famous on whom he had incriminating information arranged for him to be murdered. The disgraced mogul first pleaded guilty in 2008 for soliciting underage sex, not allegedly, and was placed on the sex offenders list.
Dave, serious question. Are we supposed to believe that only those high-profile people are on the list and there's no one more high-profile that's just not on? Like, there's no secret list? He doesn't have a secret list?
No, he only had a public list. Well, and then he had that guest list that was destroyed, but definitely no client list.
They had a list in prison, but he didn't have a fucking list in his private, dude.
No. And there
no,
what
definitely
about
not. And it wasn't. Maybe it was in Blacklight, David, in prison, like the old Fast and the fucking Furious movies, you know. And you only can tell with the blacklight.
What about the flight logs? Let's assume
that never mattered though, dude. Because but people could fly their own plane there.
But I could write a list. Like I could just write people down on a list, Ryan. What does the list prove? I'm just gonna write a list here. We got Ghislaine,
George Washington,
Clinton for sure. Yeah, George Washington. He seems like he wants to sick his wooden teeth into 11-year-olds.
Gandhi
for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Muhammad. Do you remember
Muhammad legitimately had underage sex slave wives, so that would make sense.
You remember when we asked Greg about
Prophet Muhammad?
Muhammad. Jesus.
Fake, the false prophet Muhammad, got him. All of Mossad. Let's just put them on there.
All of Mossad.
MI6, CIA.
We'll be on a terrorist watch list, David. I'll never be employed by Muslims again.
Is the list? Have we looked? Is the list
put anti-racist, baby?
Is the list like in here somewhere? Can you look? Like, have you? Is there secret code if you like read it upside down and put a mirror on it?
Dude, when they Orwell, and they make that girl version, I'm going to be the first one to buy it.
Dude, I just...
And by buy it, I'm going to steal the book. I will look YouTube. I will steal that book. I'm not buying George Orwell's book. That's
Is
Orwell.
this
I'm
seriously
stealing.
though? Seriously.
We should all steal it.
You must get it in writing. Is this though? Seriously though, is this what you voted for? Do you feel satisfied right now?
David, am I wrong to think that the reason that we're expediting the Epstein bullshit is because Trump did fuck underage kids at his island?
What else is there?
That's got to be it.
The only other conclusion, and here's
Dude,
the thing,
Trump
and I said this.
Fucking Kendrick Lamar'd him.
Here's the thing, and I said this. Unless Trump comes out right now and just fires the fuck out of everybody involved in this debacle, he looks guilty. Unless he comes out and fires everybody right now and says, listen, I don't know what the fuck's going on. He's going to have to play some 40 chess on this thing, or he looks guilty as hell. I don't know what's going on. I fired everybody related. They were all supposed to come in. They all had the information. Obviously, somebody infiltrated them. They were compromised. He has to come out and do something or say something. If he just comes out and just accepts the narrative that his own DOJ, his own FBI has put out, he looks guilty. It looks like they're covering for him. Because there's no other logical conclusion other than they were forced to come to this conclusion. As Acosta said, the intelligence agencies were in charge. As Putin says, it's the man in the black suits.
When Satan runs the world, everything is upside down, David. I, as a conspiracy theorist, David, have to be congruent on this. I have to be congruent. The more I see about Epstein, the less I think that they're actually telling you the truth about Epstein. Because especially when we talk about the hidden black secret fucking files and invisible ink and classified documents, they lied about JFK. The same people that are bad at spying can fly airplanes into the fucking World Trade Centers, though. Ted Cruz, you asshole. The Jews run our media. Come on now. Also, the client list. Dude, the sheiks aren't on a client list because it's okay in their country. Like, that's the thing. It's not alleged. The guy was sex trafficking underage girls to royalty. It's no. It's
but
just
Ryan, Prince Andrew, of course, denied the reports, Ryan.
No, deal with it. I'm done with it. I'm done with denying shit. The guy that can't keep a fucking bitch happy wasn't. Why do you think she wasn't happy? Bill Gates' wife left him because of the connection to Epstein? Was that just a publicity stunt to divorce him and take his billions? Serious question, because that's good shit, lady. I like that. Fuck Bill Gates. What do you say? Like, what am I supposed to believe? I don't even care that I voted for the guy. We told you why we voted for the guy. Like, that's fine. All the shit after is like, okay. Like, Nuremberg 2.0 is coming, dude. It's coming. I'm not going to go to work. I'm not going to cause political violence, David, of course. We are going to overthrow the government through our podcast, bare minimum, and fight off robots. YouTube fuckers. David covered, he said that you're not allowed to use AI generation and get monetized for it. YouTube is releasing a policy. There you go, people. You still need to work. Oh, AI's here. We don't need $500. They can just print AI on a robot on a fucking screen. Sorry, David. I'm pontificating.
I'd be curious how they end up determining what's AI and what's real, though. It's a good policy. I don't know how at the end of the day, how are you gonna know? Right now, you might be able to know, but as AI grows and learns and gets better and technology improves, how the fuck are you gonna know the difference?
Because I think the AI that they scan it with is better than the AI that you have. That's the only way that you could do that, David. I mean, like, basically think about it.
The AI is going to turn itself in, Ryan?
No,
we already know it'll kill you before it shuts itself down, Ryan.
Because it's militarized, David. It's not fucking this is like part of the problem. It's not a sentient thing. It's not a sentient thing yet, like what we think. What the fucking thing is actually, it's a military algorithm. wired to kill everything. I told you, the ballpoint pen, if you look it up, David, there's ways to kill people with the ballpoint pen. You take it apart, all sorts. There's military applications for a pen. So my point in saying that, it's the same way that they're like, we can scan all the YouTube videos, but we can't get child porn off the internet. LOL. What it really is that YouTube's algorithm that they have is stronger than the algorithm that we access. They have 100% of the data. They only allow us to have 20% of the use. That's kind of how it works. It's the same way with your car. When they smash a car together, the 2025 version is dated because they've made 2035 technology already. You know what I mean? So, like, by the time we buy a car or even a blender, I'm supposed to believe YouTube's algorithm, David, isn't fucking 50 years in the future? You think ChatGPT 4.0 is the current models of Chat? They have 5,000. They gave you 5. They have 100x us. Just like what's a light bulb convention, right? That's the joke. Oh, yeah, look at this light bulb convention. Everybody's got to make light bulbs that last so long or they pay a tax. That's a real thing. They got that with everything. Then they sign into law. There it is, the ding. I love it. Then they sign into law, like the whole AI, what is it, 20 years, David, or 50 years? 10 years? For the AI?
It was 10, and I don't know if that's stuck or not in the final version.
Fucking better not. I mean, we're not going to...
I do remember that was a point of contention for a handful, and I mean a handful of maybe the only few good people in government. That was a point of contention. The Rand Pauls, the Thomas Masseys.
The Dr. Mike Tremonts. I think we just referenced that guy, David. Like, what more? Like, that guy came on our show and told you guys what the fuck's going on in government. That guy works in government. He didn't seem very on the Veep to House of Cards, though. I don't know if we got him on the House of Cards or Veep scale yet.
I don't know if he understood the references.
He probably doesn't have time for television, David. He's too busy running the government.
This is the article I was talking about, too. This was from forever ago. But some people are trying to tie Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell into this whole situation. But it is interesting, too. It's also worth talking about. Netanyahu said to have offered Lewinsky tapes for Pollard. New critical book on the family claims that Israel tapped the White House phones, blackmailed president with recordings of intern. Israel attempted to use tapes of former U.S. President Bill Clinton's steamy conversations with intern Monica Lewinsky to leverage the release of Jonathan Pollard, a new book on the Clinton family's political enterprises, claims. In the book titled Clinton Inc., The Audacious of a Political Machine, author Daniel Halper relies on the record interviews with former officials together with a close analysis of documented termed the Monica Files to paint a salacious and uncomplimentary picture of the most prominent political families in the United States. Halper reviewed hundreds of pages of documented documents compiled as a contingency to use in case the former intern was ever involved in legal action against Clinton. According to the author, the documents indicate that during the Y plantation talks between Israel and Palestinian authorities held in Maryland in 1998, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told Bill Clinton to press for Pollard's release. This was the spy. Halper said that Israel had found new leverage to push for Pollard's release. The Israel president at Y River had a new tactic for the negotiations. They'd overheard Clinton and Monica on tape and had it on tape, not wanting to directly threaten the powerful American president, a crucial Israel ally. Clinton was told the Israeli government had thrown the tapes away, but the very mention of them was enough to constitute a form of blackmail, Halper wrote, adding that, according to information provided by a CIA source, a stricken Clinton appeared to buckle.
David, I have to.
Yeah, we have all these tapes. I mean, we threw them away because we're good friends.
I have to show every single cent of every dollar I've ever made my whole life, but you can just throw away a fucking sex scandal tape. Get real. The military didn't keep that, David.
That's
people aren't that.
No, that's because
are we allies. That? Are we that dumb, David? I thought they were just really bad.
Our greatest
They really
allies,
think I'm
man.
that stupid. Are they just really bad at intelligence? Maybe he accidentally dropped the tape and they had to say they threw the tape out, David.
You know the answer.
I fucking hate these
Helper
people,
noted
dude.
that
Herbert too old.
intelligence officials in the United States or Israel will, of course, not confirm the record or the extent of the substance of Israeli eavesdropping. But eavesdropping, I love that term. You mean it's spying? It was spying. But also cited eavesdropping like they were a
We're
room away.
allies.
Hey,
We're
couldn't help
allies,
but
David.
hear. Couldn't help
Yo, I'm
but
not
hear you were
fucking your.
getting a little bit of fun from Monica Lewinsky, the intern. I was in the next room over.
Yeah, I'm not sleeping
Eavesdropping.
with
They
your
were
wife.
fucking tapping the phones. Eavesdropping? That's
It
not eavesdropping.
kind of reminds me of that spy that happened in 2016 on Trump. You remember?
Dude, eavesdropping is being in Walmart and hearing the people in front of you have a conversation. They tapped our phones. Let's just be clear. This is Watergate from our greatest ally. Uh, Also cited an article published in 2000 by the magazine Insight that claimed that Israel had penetrated 4 White House telephone lines and was able to relay real-time conversations on those lines from a remote site outside the White House directly to Israel for listening and recording. Israel, of course, denied such claims and said they were. Pollard, a former U.S. naval analyst, was found guilty of passing sensitive documents to Israel and sentenced to a life sentence in prison for the offense. He remains a cause in Israel, and there have been repeated efforts throughout the past 20 years to secure his release. Helper cites seemingly corroborating information, including contemporary New York Times article from November 1998, which reported that the two leaders had discussed Pollard's release during the ill-fated conference, that the Israelis had told the president something that opened up the possibility of Pollard's release, something Clinton had explicitly ruled out during the first 6 years of his presidency. The Times article noted that the White House spokesperson told a reporter that Clinton was simply newly impressed by the force of Mr. Netanyahu's was very impressed by his arguments. Okay. According to Helper, during the special investigation by independent counsel Star, Lewinsky told prosecutors that Clinton suggested that they knew their calls were being monitored all along and the phone sex was just a put on.
Wait a minute.
Clinton knew the lines were tapped and he was having phone sex with an intern, I'm sure.
Yeah, just put on for it. Yeah, baby. Just let me talk
Monica
weird to you.
Lewinsky told prosecutors. Helper adds to the narrative claims by the Lewinsky legal support team that they found evidence that the British, Russians, and Israelis had all scooped up the microwaves off the top of the White House. Helper also offered evidence in the memoir of the former Russian president Boris Yeltsin, who wrote the Russian intelligence had picked up on Clinton's predilection. That's one way to put it.
Predilection.
It was widely.
Yo, how do I know that she wasn't like a spy by the Russians?
It was far from
anybody to begin with, David, like the Israelis. She could have been a spy the whole time and like sent there to suck his dick and like, cigars or whatever they were doing.
Lewinsky Ryan sounds pretty Jewish.
Pretty. Look at the schnoz on her, dude.
Helper is not the first to claim Israeli illicitly taped the steamy conversations and leveraged it to its advantage. In 1999, UK author Gordon Thomas claimed that the Mossad had collected some 30 hours worth of phone sex conversations between Lewinsky and Clinton and was using them to blackmail the US. Thomas also claimed that the Mossad was behind the deaths of Princess Diana, Robert Maxwell, William Buckley, and 241 Marines killed in a 1983 barracks explosion in Lebanon. At the time, Netanyahu's spokesman described Thomas's allegations as unmitigated drivel. Wild.
Dave, you ever hear the thing that
unbelievable,
that like Satan is the Jews? and that's why they fuck everything up.
No, I don't know. Here.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
And I still. The problem with the whole Jewish thing where everyone tries to tie everything to Israel, I think there's two problems there. One, I think if you wanted to, you could probably tie a lot of different countries to a lot of different things. So I think it's hard to just say the Jews run the world because, 15 things I can tie to Israel. But the other thing is, there never seems to be like specifics. It's always like, yeah, but that person's Jewish. Like Kash Patel. Kash Patel's wife's Jewish. Okay, all right. How many people on earth are Jewish? So
not a lot.
Is it more likely? It's quite a bit. Is it more likely Kash Patel caved because his wife is Jewish, or is it more likely he caved because a bunch of elite, powerful people of all religions and backgrounds didn't want their names exposed? I mean, is that more likely? I mean, I think it's most likely scenario that all the people on this client list that, of course, now officially don't exist. I think all those people are the shadowy elites that we're always talking about, Ryan. Are they not? I mean, is it not more likely that Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and Pam Biondi and even Trump to some extent, like I said about the assassination attempt, I think it was a warning. Is it not most likely that all these people have just had threats made against their lives? I think that's a pretty realistic scenario. And now they just got to come out and try to run cover for all these people. That's pretty likely.
What, you mean the thing about Trump that we'll shoot you in the fucking face during your presidential campaign and we don't care?
Yeah, we talked about that. Like it was pretty out in the open. It's like, dude, we will literally a football field away from you climb onto a roof and nobody can stop us.
We'll blackmail everybody. David, people want to do that? People want to do that, David. Okay, go shoot that guy. Well, if you don't shoot that guy, we'll shoot your family.
The CIA admitted, this is unrelated to Epstein, but kind of related to Epstein because it's, let's be honest, it's our intelligence agencies. It's what they do best. CIA admitted that there was psychological warfare agent came into contact with Lee Harvey Oswald before JFK's assassination. Did you also hear the theories about Charles Manson? Have you read into him being tied into the CIA? Because I think that's always really interesting too.
I believe it was Operation Midnight Climax, it was called, or some shit, that the CIA and LSD. And I heard a guy wrote a book about it. Joe Rogan had him on his podcast. Like, what year is it, dude? Jesus criminy. Like 5 years ago at this point about it. Very fascinating. I don't remember. I don't have my photographic memory on today. Or do I, David? But he broke all that down and how Manson was tied into that. And I'm pretty sure they would like use prostitutes to lure people into like, basically like a den, and it was really like a two-way mirror. Was this a real thing? Am I right?
Yeah. So this is Operation Midnight Climax, and there's a million of
yeah.
these.
So then they would.
Good for your photographic memory. I can't remember all of them, but Operation Midnight Climax was an operation carried out by the CIA as a sub-project of MK Ultra, the mind control research program that began in the 50s. It was initially established in 1954 by Sidney Gottlieb and placed under the direction of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics in Boston, Massachusetts, with the federal narcotics agent and the CIA consultant George Hunter, while the pseudonym of Morgan Hale. Sidney Gottlieb was a chemist who was chief of the chemical division of the Office of Technical Service of the CIA. Gottlieb based his plan for Project MK Ultra and Operation Midnight Climax off interrogation methods researched under Project Artichoke. Unlike Project
These people
Artichoke,
are fucking psychopaths.
Operation Midnight Climax gave Gottlieb permission to test drugs on unknowing citizens, which made way for the legacy of this operations. Hundreds of federal agents, field operatives, and scientists worked on these programs before they shut down in the 60s. And
Dave,
if I remember
scientists would never
correctly,
lie about climate change, but they would definitely kidnap people and drug them against their will. Fucking assholes, dude.
if I remember correctly, the head
They had like a
doctor.
two-way mirror and shit, and they would like watch these people get all fucked up, and then they'd have the girl ask them questions or something. It's just fucked up. I'm
It was
sorry, dude.
no, it was like the head doctor at the like homeless shelter or something that Charles Manson used to go to was the guy who was tied into the CIA and all these LSD operations and like it was never like fully proven, but like there's a lot of ties
How
in
are
it.
you gonna prove that? What are you gonna
No,
ask
that he
the
was a
people that were
secret
fucking
CIA agent.
brainwashed by the CIA? Fucking A? And what? Are we gonna ask the CIA agent, David? We'll just murder your family and destroy your pension. What the fuck is wrong with people? Midnight Climax. They rub your goddamn face in it. This is crazy. Why would I believe anything ever? You can just lure me with a whore and put some shit in some water. You've done it for 100 years. This is almost 100 years, David. 80 fucking years ago? Are you serious? My dad was born in the 60s. 63. They've been fucking people like that my dad's whole life. But I'm supposed to believe Epstein definitely killed himself. Drink the fluoride, people. It's not bad for you. It's good for your teeth. Everybody's teeth are fucked up because all the sugar or whatever else it is. Oh, where'd autism come from? It definitely was there not a million years ago. It is now, though. You know, so all the Down syndrome kids look the exact same. Name another thing that I catch that everybody looked the fucking same with it. Name it. It don't exist. It's not a deformity. But they can turn a guy into a girl with estrogen. But they can't give you autism. Come on. Midnight Climax. Rub your face right in it. They built the atomic bomb. That ChatGPT 4 is definitely as smart as it gets, David. What was the Jew microwave fucking mosquito thing? What was the new metric of microwaves? Didn't you send me something about like a mosquito sized? It was a text message.
What did I send you?
It was a text message about mosquitoes and lasers.
Oh, that was the wireless energy.
Oh,
Was
okay,
it that
okay.
one?
No, it was like 3 days ago.
I don't remember anything about mosquitoes.
Dave, how can I have the photographic memory and you don't?
I don't have any memory.
James Gunn says Superman is about an immigrant that came from other places and how we've lost the value of basic human kindness. Yes, it's about politics. What, dude? You gotta kill Superman. This device uses a laser to shoot down 30 mosquitoes per second. LiDAR guided photo matrix has up to 6-meter kill zone, can gauge distance, orientation, and body size in 3 milliseconds. Tom's Hardware.
Wait, is this the DARPA thing? I don't remember what this is.
LiDAR guided photon matrix, dude. Just look PHOTON. Yeah, this is real cool.
LiDAR photon matrix? That sounds made up.
Every day. Okay, dude. Definitely not made up. What about the guy that turns plastic into gas? They want to kill him. The black guy. Definitely kill the black guy. Equal opportunity employer. Kill the blacks.
The photon matrix is a laser-based mosquito defense. Oh, yeah. Oh my god.
Laser mosquito-based, dude. Holy shit, they're sniping mosquitoes.
Laser-based mosquito defense system that utilizes LiDAR. I do remember this now.
LiDAR, dude. Ground penetrating radar.
Instead of having like a candle outside or using like the off bug spray, you send out the iron beam to take out all the mosquitoes, right?
The fucking Wi-Fi you just watch bugs fall out of the air. It's definitely fine for me to walk through, though, people. Definitely fine for my cells. Just getting microwaved all day long. I'm like, man, I love TikTok's butt cheek algorithm. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's the one. Epstein client list, Ryan. Epstein client list. Doesn't
Sorry
exist.
about the segue, people.
Doesn't exist. He definitely
Trump fucked kids on Epstein till he proves me otherwise.
Allegedly. But well, I don't know. Is it allegedly? Allegedly, no underage girls had sex, even though people were put away for underage girls having sex.
And he was a
Unallegedly.
registered sex offender? He was a
Well,
registered sex offender.
yeah, that was unalleged. Yeah, that was official.
Trump
I'm trying
fucked
to
those
figure
kids,
out.
so did everybody else.
I'm trying to figure out the term alleged, how that works, because if he was convicted and he was a sex offender because there were underage girls, sounds like it's not alleged anymore. Like that to me, alleged's like we're claiming something, but we haven't proven it yet in the court of law. That's alleged. This sounds like proven sex offender, definite underage sex trafficked girls.
I mean, it's not like he was on multiple house arrests. Not that like he had many house arrests, just that like he was in many houses because of his, billionaire lifestyle that he lived, David. Clearly, the billionaires don't operate in a different scale. Even though Diddy can just pick up his friend from one place and drive him to another, and that's a different crime than rub baby oil on my nipples.
All these sex offenders are all public, Ryan.
Super public.
Call one of them and ask them if they had house arrest where they could just go wherever they want whenever they wanted. See if that's how that worked. Ask them if they got to stay in the sheriff's office, and if they installed the TV for them in the attorney's office. Let me know how the average sex offender worked. Let me know if they got a plea deal that was so good the guy who was charging you was told that it was out of his control. Let me know if that's the average sex offender. There's no client list. There's no blackmail. There were no high-profile personalities involved in this. But then compare this to any sex offender in the United States and let me know if there's anything even comparative.
Look at what Trump's doing to the immigrants that are just going to work. I swear to God, if I hear it's a campaign promise fulfilled, I got to the bottom of Epstein. No, Elon did.
Elon's starting his own political party, Ryan. Are you aware of this?
Yeah, it's the American Party.
The American Party. Elon said, "I'm sick of the Uniparty." Good for that dude. Uniparty. Uniparty, Ryan. Uniparty.
The party.
The party. Good.
What is he calling it? What's he calling it?
It is the American Party. The American Party. It's an American flag Doge, though. It's pretty glorious.
Is it really the American Party?
I think so. Yeah.
I will I'm driving to. I swear. I'll cry, David. Elon, I'm glad you're a watcher of the show, man. I love you. Big fan.
Elon Musk has announced the formation of a new political party in the United States called the America Party. This move comes after a public disagreement with President Trump. But where's the picture, Ryan? Because the picture is really what matters. This is terrible. Maybe that was unofficial.
I could cry. Dave, how long have I been saying that we're just all Americans now, huh? How long have I been saying that, David? Huh? How long?
What's like the biggest knock against Elon? Is it the Neuralink? Is that the biggest thing that people are skeptical of?
What is what?
Like what's the biggest thing? Like so in the Trump versus Elon thing, right? The people who are anti-Elon, who
that fucker started a political party.
Yeah. Who definitely would have been pro Elon like 3 months ago. What's their biggest knock? Is it the Neuralink? Is it the fact he disagreed with Trump? Is that it? Is it literally that simple? Let me ask you this. I'd love to ask this to all the Trump supporters. Again, we've always considered ourselves Trump defenders, not necessarily Trump supporters. But let me.
Well, I can't defend a fucking sex offender.
Let me ask this: if you were a Trump supporter, and this doesn't turn you away from Trump, you have to seriously ask yourself, what is the thing that Trump would do that you would be against publicly? You enough to call him out. If it's not
cut down the tree stump,
if it's not covering up for pedophiles, what is it?
Dude, there's a guy in Lancaster that has a tree stump with Trump's name carved into it.
That's the guy. You got to ask that guy. Ask him what Trump would do that would make you so upset you would burn your tree stump.
in publicly on the internet and burn all your Trump memorabilia, your Trump stickers, your MAGA hats.
I gotta know what the thing is. There has to be what's the line in the sand? I think this is an important question to ask yourself.
Dave,
It's
why
not
didn't
that
we like him, right? Because what was our thing? We just didn't.
I
I
just
mean,
don't. Here's the thing. He
just don't
often
believe
says
him.
a lot of, and I'll say this. He does say a lot of the right things a lot of the time, but it's in his ability to execute at a government level. You could say is not necessarily his fault because it's so big and so above any one person that maybe it's just not possible. Whereas in the private sector, he seemed to execute all the time. He wanted a building, boom. What does it take? Boom, 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 building. It happens. In the
Get the
government, a lot of
building.
red tape, a lot of other people. There's people who might shoot you in the face. So it's hard to say exactly what is his fault and what isn't his fault. But here's the thing that I was always skeptical about. If you looked at Trump's history, and it's fine, people can have changes of heart. He was, for a large portion of his life, a Democrat. And then as the Democratic Party moved left, and the Republican Party, quite frankly, moved left, he started to seem far right, which was interesting because his stances, to his credit, have been pretty spot on for 30, 40 years. Like, he really hasn't moved politically. Like, Trump has been the guy he has. But of course, he was donating to Democrats. And if you ask him, why were you donating to Democrats in New York? Well, because, you got to play the game. I want to build buildings. Guess what? You got to support Democratic campaigns. It's just how it is. So there's a lot of stuff there. I just never truly believed that he was what a lot of people think he is. And I never also loved the politician worship in general, right? Because politician worship, expand that turns into government worship, expand that turns into communist. Like, I don't defend ideas, not people,
Say that one again, Dave. Say that one again.
What's that?
The worship, because it led to communists. It was beautiful. Just say it again.
Politician worship turns into government worship, turns into communism. It's just what it is.
It's just so perfect. So simple. Yeah, and this is the sensationalization. This is the 99.999% of us would be Nazi camp concentration guards. And you would.
Did Trump say on Oprah if he ran for office, he would go Republican because they're the dumbest? I don't think that's a real quote, but if you can find that, that's fine.
Yeah, I heard that a long time ago. Is that Mike?
Yeah, I don't think that's a real quote.
Yeah, I heard that when he was running in 2016 about it.
Yeah,
if you actually watch him on Oprah, there's a full interview of Oprah. First of all, Oprah loved him back then, and second of all, she asked him about him running for president, and she was all for it. So,
which is interesting because she most certainly wouldn't be for it today, Ryan. Correct?
Well, we didn't cover it. Did you guys see the Arnold Schwarzenegger on the View clip? It was probably 2 weeks ago now.
You make the claim, and I have to Google it. That's fine. I'll Google it.
I'm going to say 2 weeks. Let's see if photographic memory hits me home here. Because clearly, David, I can't remember everything in the universe. One mind is not so vast, but if I can collectively collect all the unconsciousness, maybe I can.
Here's CNN, because of course we all believe CNN. The Trump quote calling Republicans the dumbest group of voters is fake.
Okay. And then the Arnold Schwarzenegger on the View.
Dear Internet, we don't want to scold you, but you're making it difficult. The viral meme your friends keep sharing of Donald Trump calling Republicans the dumbest group of voters in the country is not true. It's not a thing. Stop sharing it.
Okay. And you should stop sharing it because it just fucking...
See, I thought that was the case, but that's fine. What about... Did you say something about Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Arnold Schwarzenegger on The View. He shuts up the host on The View. We didn't talk about it. But I just think it's highly reminiscent of like the way he portrays it. It's almost like these people, maybe it is celebrityism in general, David, that like, because they didn't necessarily, those who don't follow a god will find a god naturally, right? We're naturally worshipers, but like,
that's why it's one of the fatal sins, right?
It's like the first commandment. Thou shalt have no other god. It's the first commandment.
Is it the first one?
Look them up. Thou shalt have no god before
me. Is it before like killing other people? Is it that high?
Yeah, without the other things, without one God, you don't have the other things. It's a
You can still
hierarchy
kill.
of laws. It's
You
a
can still kill
hierarchy of
people, but
commandments, just like there's hierarchy of First Amendments. Like people don't realize that the actual Bill of Rights is actually structured hierarchically, meaning that the First Amendment and all of those
oh,
things are
hold
in
on.
order.
Well, so murder is number 6. It's way down there, but actually number 2 is very relevant too. You shall not make idols.
False
Um,
idols.
number 1, you shall have
Covenant
no
one.
gods before me.
Read them all off, David, because they're worth mentioning.
Okay, number 1, you shall have no other gods before me. Number 2, you shall not make idols. Number 3, you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in
Name.
vain. Number 4, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Number 5, honor your father and your mother.
Mm.
Not your father and your father. Number 6.
Let's respect your elders, basically. Respect your elders.
Number 6, you shall not murder. Number 7, you shall not commit adultery. Number 8, you shall not steal. Number 9, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor.
No lying.
Number 10, you shall not covet.
Yeah, it's weird. We built our society on those. It's a pretty terrible thing, David.
Did those stones explode too, Ryan?
Dude, they blew them fucking things up. It's so crazy. No one knew those things existed. And then people started traveling there during COVID because they're like, there's fucking monuments here about, wait a second. And then 20-year-old kids go
Population
out there.
control? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you just thought it was crazy. I was talking about plastic in the water. Fucking assholes, dude. You know, Dave, I actually thought maybe we should start a political campaign and just say I'm anti-plastic or something. And we're just gonna run and we're gonna get the plastic out of everything. That's my political campaign. Everything.
I
People,
think
dogs. You can't be against this. The air. How can you hate me?
to go back to the original point, because I think you were making a point.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I've rambled now.
Yeah, there's a very specific reason I think that we don't support you need to support ideas. You need to have a foundation in what you stand for. And then if you pick a politician who's going to represent you who stands for most of those things, that's fine, but that doesn't mean that you have to worship him and he's like this untouchable thing. Like Trump could represent 80% of the things that I think are necessary in society
like
today.
An archetype.
He was great. He was great on like the culture war and all these things. There's a lot of things Trump's really good at. That doesn't mean he's unfailable. That doesn't mean he can't have flaws. It doesn't mean that he's not in on corruption on his own. It doesn't mean that he's necessary a pedophile, but it certainly, maybe he is. I don't know. This is the thing. This is why you get stuck, because now all the people who are hardcore Trump all the time, Trump never does anything wrong. Now they're stuck because what do you say to this? Trump's DOJ, Trump's FBI. This is Trump. This is our government. This is the president of the United States. He's in charge of all these people. The FBI and the DOJ come out and say that Epstein killed himself and that there's no client list. All the things that we've been railing about, that most of these Trump supporters have been talking about for 8 years. And this happens and everyone's just like, well, I guess that's... And then what's your position on this now? Well, I guess that's the case then. That's the narrative. Trump said so.
I fucking hope not. I hope. No wonder they sign your civil liberties away. No wonder. No wonder. It's insulting. He fucked those girls until you prove me otherwise, goddammit. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Show me how he didn't fuck the girls. Show me. Don't give me government sources now. Oh, don't be doing that one. I can't trust the government. They lied about Epstein. And I elected him. So now I'm twice as skeptical. You can't even hate me for hating him because I elected him. And now I'm like, hey, bud, it's not enough. I'm pissed off. This ain't good enough. Like him going on Rogan ain't good enough. Trump using Rogan to get your message ain't good enough. Do you remember when I told you, David, that isn't this funny? God, Elon, I love that you watch me. It makes it so much better now. I got better hair than him. I didn't even have to buy this, you fuck. I know he watches. He has Gronk scanning my shit. I love this. Remember when I told you, David, that real news is going to have to be broke on people that have like 10 followers because all those people, the new followers, are all just the same gatekeepers that we gave up? All the dinosaur media, we still call them mainstream media, legacy media. They lied then. How do they have credibility now? How do we give them a... Maybe that's respecting your elders, David. Maybe they're the trailblazers and they set the format. I get that in the art form, but like I want to break that at this point. But it's bullshit. Don't be sending your agents and your fucking lies on Theo Von and Jocko and doing the rounds. Not calling them out because whatever, but I've been watching a lot of podcasts, dude. You can't just like put some shit out there.
Well, Ron, we're gonna watch one tomorrow. I've decided. I hope you're okay with it.
Okay, tomorrow I want to sneak that Arnold clip in seriously because I just think it's worth.
Where is this Arnold clip? We could probably sneak it in now.
You could probably just type in Arnold on The View. Arnold's pro-America speech on The View.
Pro-America speech.
I'm adding that. CNN might not have that as an article for Mike, but I love you, Mike. I actually love that you're like, you push us. I'm on Trump fucking bandwagon now, so we're friends now again, right? We're cool now. Google.
This may or may not.
Okay.
Yeah, this may or may not be what you're referring to. We could try.
It's him in the middle of the table. He's old.
Like, well, that's where they put everybody, right?
Yeah, no, this is it. This is it. How old is this? I said 2 weeks ago.
June 17th. Yeah.
Did you have a visceral reaction to what they're doing, what ICE is doing when you see the videos of it?
Well, I tell you, you said that the immigrant, I'm so proud and happy that I was impressed by the American people like that. I mean, imagine I came over here with the age of 21 with absolutely nothing. And then to create a career like that. I mean, in no other country in the world could you do that. Every single thing, if it's my bodybuilding career, if it's my acting career, becoming governor, the beautiful family that I've created, all of this is because of America.
That's true.
And so this is why I'm so happy to see firsthand that this is the greatest country in the world, and this is the land of opportunity. And I think because I'm such a proud American and a proud immigrant that came to America, I was asked to do on July 4th a big speech, the keynote speech at Mount Vernon, where George Washington was laid to rest, and where he lived and all that, to celebrate the
freed his slaves
anniversary of America, the existence of America. And I will be doing the speech there. They asked me because I'm an immigrant, and there will be 7,000 some people there, and there will be people that will be sworn in and will become citizens that day.
That's great.
So it's really a great celebration. And this is what this is all about: is to celebrate people becoming Americans and coming to America and all that. And so I just think the world of the great kind of a history that we have with immigrants in America. But the key thing also is at the same time that we got to do things legal. That is the important thing, you know. So you got to do things legal, and those people that are doing illegal things in America and that are foreigners, they are not smart. Because when you come to America, you're a guest, and you have to behave like a guest. Like when I go to someone's house and I'm a guest, then I will do everything I can to keep things clean and to make my bed and to do everything that is the right thing to do, rather than committing a crime or being abusive or something like that. So that doesn't really work in this country. So I think the important thing is when you become an immigrant, to think about, okay, I go to America because I want to use America for the great opportunities that America has in education, in jobs, creating a family, all of those kind of things. Then you have to think about, okay, if I get all of those things from America, then I have to give something back You have a responsibility as an immigrant to give back to America and to pay back to America and to go and do something for your community for no money whatsoever. Give something back to after-school programs, Special Olympics, or whatever it is. Make this country a better place.
Here's the thing. I got into this a little bit with Dr. Mike Termont, but the thing about legal immigrants is that are so statistically overwhelmingly pro-America, even more pro-America than a lot of people who are born here naturally. It's astounding.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem I have with people coming here illegally, when you don't do it the right way, you can do it any way you want. And these people come here illegally. And I understand what Mike Termont was saying. Well, wouldn't you do that too? Of course I would. But here's the problem. They come here and they don't want to become Americans. They just want to use what America provides them. And you don't get it that way. That's not how this works. You don't just get the best of everything. You come here and you become American. You do it the right way. I understand that. Yes, your life is shit because you live in a shithole country, which is what Trump said, and then people got offended. But then they acknowledge that all these people come here from shithole countries because their countries are shitholes.
Yeah, and then they don't go back to their country, make it a better place. They stay here because their country is a shithole. And why wouldn't you?
Find an illegal immigrant who gives that speech that Arnold just gave on The View.
Yeah, this was dope. This is the 17th. Yeah, this is fucking dope. Crushed it. No politics. That's zero politics. That's history, religion, politics right there. There's no political parties, no affiliation. And that's what I mean when Elon's, he didn't steal it. He's just mainlining it. So, Elon, thank you as always. Fuck, we are on X. Dave Ryan, December 1773. Catch us on Rumble for the greatest podcast in human history. As always, David, I appreciate you and all of our fellow Americans and our new political party. I'm going to speak the America Party. I'm going to speak at the party that I birthed. So,
Ryan, do not forget, tomorrow we're going to watch and react. I think it's about a half hour, but with us jumping in back and forth and pausing it frequently, it's going to be at least an hour-long show. Tucker Carlson interviewed the president of Iran, and it's a must-watch.
Should I pre-watch this?
No, I think you go in fresh like you always do, Ryan.
Yeah, we do crush it. So until then, bench press, drink milk, and watch Dave Ryan. 1772. Catch us on Rumble. Greatest podcast ever. I love you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Ryan.
Later.